I'm Mario and
We are
Tanya
Tanya
and Mario. Welcome.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. What are we going to talk about?
Today we're going to talk about
Toxic people
Yeah,
in our lives and what to
and how to recognize them.
Yeah,
what to do about it. How to protect yourself.
Yeah, how to protect yourself.
Because I think we all have met toxic people, whether we recognize it or not. So,
yeah. I've met several toxic people in my past experience up until now, and how did I know? Well, simply by the fact that I used to be very tired afterwards, so I would be left drained, tired, wanting to get rid of wanting to get very far away from the person. Yes, that's how I would recognize them. Like they would talk and talk. The people that would unload their problems and not listen to any potential or any offered or proffered solution. So people, they would unload and walk away. So that's the kind of that's my experience of toxic people.
Well, it's good because it seems that you can already recognize it.
That's a good.
You want to get far away from somebody because you don't always notice.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't always notice, and you don't always realize that that person is actually having a negative effect on you. I've actually been in an abusive relationship, and I've also, at the same time as having toxic friends, people who I consider to be really good friends. So it can actually be quite serious. So the first thing that I wanted to say is, be careful if you are starting to look for reasons why whatever you're doing could be the cause of somebody treating you badly. Look no further. Stop looking and take that as a red flag to the fact that you might be in a difficult or abusive relationship with somebody who's toxic.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jen. Is that are you saying that because of people who are trying to make you feel guilty for something that you didn't do? Is that
that's definitely part of it. Somebody who constantly makes you feel guilty, or that it's like it's your fault for when they're treating you badly. That is definitely one of the first signs that you should look for. So if somebody's treating you in a way that you shouldn't be treated, i.e. they are aggressive, whether it be verbally, physically, if you feel afraid around somebody, then that's definitely a red flag.
And like what you're wondering then, that what have I done? Have I done something wrong? And why? And you know that you haven't done anything wrong, and they're still being aggressive about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, you feel really bad, and as if you've provoked them or something like that, and they kind of seem to blame you as if it was your fault, and try and put the responsibility onto you.
And you know that it's not you. You definitely know that you did not cause what happened, what you're being blamed for, and the other person is trying to deflect.
And you actually end up going, wait, and you think about it, and you're like, how could it be me? Like, is this really me? What did I do? And you're sort of racking your brains to try and think about it. So you go home now, like with the thought, what did I do wrong? And you kind of think about it all night long, and perhaps another 2 nights as well after that. So that's they're taking your energy away from you. Yeah. So that's another thing as well. So so I would say that's the second thing to look for is if you're around somebody who's toxic, you're going to feel emotionally drained. So they suck all your energy out of you. Like when you know that you have to see that person,
you're dreading it.
Yeah, and you're going to be tired afterwards.
Don't want to see that person.
And in fact, and you also feel like that person hasn't actually made you feel happy or made you feel better, or it's all sort of negative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're
left half dying after halfway through the encounter. You just want to run away.
Yeah, that's the thing is you either dread seeing them before you see them, or you feel really negative and you can't put a finger on the reason why. Right. So it's all about trusting in your own feelings and yourself. Like if you're feeling like you haven't done anything wrong, and why is this person blaming me for it? Or if you're feeling really negative and drained after an encounter with somebody, listen to yourself and listen to your body.
Your instinct. Your body. Listen, see inside. Huh? look inside and see what your body is telling you.
What's your body telling you? So another thing I would say, so a third thing, so the first thing is people basically blaming you for their behaviour. Second thing is feeling drained, like emotionally drained. A third thing I would say is this is quite difficult to notice, but it's people who are sort of slightly more cheery and gleeful and happy and chirpy when things are going badly for you. That you feel like they kind of let you down, like they're not there for you, and you also feel like they're a little bit happier when your life is like not going so well, because what they'll be doing is comparing their life to yours, and if they're coming out on top, they're going to actually feel better about themselves for that. So they're actually going to prefer. You'll notice little tones and little.
Like a lot of people are like they prefer to see someone being less well off than you. And
well, that's the thing, is if it's a friend of yours, and I mean anybody who loves you or really is a really good friend of yours is going to be so happy for you and just so supportive of you, like supportive of you if you're down and going to help you get out of it, but they're also going to be really happy for you when things are going well for you. They're going to really want the best for you, and you can tell if you really like listen and keep an eye out. Like,
so that's your test that's the litmus test for knowing when you have a real friend or not. Litmus test,
because I mean
check if something when something wrong or something goes bad in your life or something's not going quite so well, see how they react, and you'll be able to tell and watch carefully how the reaction is.
True.
Keep an eye open.
That's a good one.
Observe.
I would say also something that we were talking about earlier, which is people not listening to you. You can really tell because they kind of listen to themselves talk. They're not really listening to what you're saying. They're kind of being right about everything. So anything that you're saying, I mean, this is not necessarily a toxic person, but it's certainly somebody who's not really listening to what you're saying to them, is just waiting for what they're going to say. That kind of person is going to really just talk about themselves all the time and never really actually be interested in anything, not only anything you have to say, any of your experiences, what actually you're going through.
People love
themselves. They just
love themselves. Speak to what they say.
Don't go too far. But like, sorry, what was I going to say?
No, they just like carrying on. Actually, I think underneath all that, Tanya, I think it's people like that. They're not really interested in improving their life.
I would call them sort of predators. These people who need to fill themselves with your well-being, and this is what basically sucks you dry of your own. They can hone in on the right kind of person that they can kind of take advantage of. And
they'll definitely find you.
Another red flag is isolation. If somebody's not happy with you having other friends and doing other activities and other things outside
besides seeing the person
themselves, besides you being their kind of creature
for them, because they're like the center of your life. They're supposed to be the center.
You can't be shared.
Right.
And that may make you feel important in the beginning.
Because that's also about control. Then they can because if they're the only person in your life, they can control what
everything you
information
do, who
you
you're
get,
friends with,
exactly who
and
you
what
see.
information you get. Like anyone who would potentially question the way that person is behaving toward you. Bottom line is that any real friendship or loving relationship makes you feel amazing, makes you feel loved. So what we'll do is we will just put the list of the 5 things that we've just talked about, which I think the most important things about recognizing toxic people, toxic relationships. So hopefully that will help you, and if you spot any of those in your own,
send them our way.
Well, certainly there's lots of online resources for these kind of things as well. So we'll put a few of those in the description that can help. So hope you enjoyed the episode, and see you next week.
See you next video. Bye.
Ciao.